I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. I am not these feelings. I'll leave them all in time. Where is it I'm going? Truth is, what is one or more major event or events that shaped your path this year? What are one or more major event or events that shaped your path this year? Who were the most important figures in your year? The people that most shaped your path. Who were the important figures in your year? People that most shaped your path. Is there a pattern from the past that you recognize that was with you this year? Is there a pattern from the past that you recognized that returned to you this year? What choice or choices do you feel positive about making this year? What choice or choices do you feel positive about making this year? What choice or choices would you be interested in reconsidering from this year? What choice or choices would you be interested in reconsidering from this year? What guides appeared to you this year to support you? Knowing that guides can be human, in the form of animals, in the form of music, in all kinds of forms guides can come. What guides came to support you this year? Did you complete any projects or agreements, inner or outer, this year? Did you complete any projects or agreements, inner or outer, in this past year? Did you begin any projects or agreements in this past year? Did you begin any projects or agreements in this past year? What inspired you this year? What inspired you this year? Is there something that just keeps coming up? And that could mean starting now. Is there something that just keeps coming up? Is there anything from this year that you wish to meaningfully say goodbye to, mourn, or take care of in the parting from? Is there anything from this year that you wish to meaningfully say goodbye to, mourn, or otherwise take care of in your parting from it? If your year had a title or a one-liner, what would it be? If your year had a title or a one-liner, what would it be? And lastly, is there anything outside of the story that you know of this past year that is ready to come into relationship with you? There's something outside of the story of your year that you currently know that is ready to come forth and be in relationship with you. We'll take about another 2 to 3 minutes, and to remember that this process will never finish. So there's no inner rush or agenda to try to complete anything here. On Kalyana's prompt, if you wish, take a moment and return to your inner meditative space. Close your eyes and reestablish yourself in that beautiful meadow. Feeling your best, open-hearted. Everything in your inner vision is giving you energy, positive energy. The entirety of 2015 is spread out in front of you simultaneously, alive, moving, still living, playing on the clouds of this exquisite valley that opens in front of you. An active play of light and shadow, your year. And notice that if from doing this little bit of inventory, this little bit of opening that we did of the past 20 minutes, if your sense of the year has already changed. Again, there's nothing that you need to particularly figure out or do, just tuning in honestly to how you're feeling. And then take a nice deep breath and know that we'll return, and you can return here anytime, and return to open-eyed awareness in the space. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second step here in our review of the year. And what I'm about to offer is really just that. It's an offering. And if you choose to spend the next 45 minutes or so in another way, I'm very happy for you to do that, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else in the room. If you want to sit in meditation in a different way, or, great. If you think there's a way that's going to be more meaningful for you to tend to your year so that you can move forward in a liberated and joyous manner. I also want to remind everyone again that in any one moment of their year, or in any one moment of time, is all of time. And so as you attend to bringing yourself into a higher level of consciousness with any one moment, everything else grows in consciousness around it. So sometimes we feel like we have to do everything. We have to go horizontally and take care of everything. And you can, again, it's your choice. So you can choose to go really horizontal and do a little bit here and here and here, and great, if that's the way you want to work. But also know if you're feeling called to one or two or three things that you feel like you really want to work with, that's going to affect everything, right? And it's wonderful to notice how those things connect, and how in each year, other years and other lifetimes kind of cycle through, Like this year, my mother had a return of cancer that she had had 16 years ago. So as I attend to that moment in the year and work on my conscious relationship with her, I have the opportunity to heal and to reopen time when I was in my early 20s. And then I have time to reopen the space where she gave birth to me. And then I have time to go back to when I knew her in a past lifetime, and on and on and on, right? Or forward, and then forward and forward and forward. So seeing how we have these opportunities, nothing's ever done, right? Okay, so we have these 4 areas in the room that the lovely goddesses helped lay out. Thank you. And you may want to make note of this. You may want to write these down. One area is to tune into and align with the goodness of the year. Align with the goodness. The areas are your choice. Right? So we're not keeping tabs oh, Geneva had a lot of goodness in the year, but I'm over here in the forgiveness area for 45 minutes, you know, it's like, we won't know what, you know, shape is for whom, right? But you choose. Another area is for forgiveness. And to remember that there are two types of forgiveness. There's forgiveness of self and there's forgiveness of other. And of course, those are related. Another area is for things that you just don't know how to be with. And maybe the more positive way to say that are things that you can awaken curiosity for. Situations, inner patterns, whatever it might be. And then the last area is for a space of offering gratitude. And similar to forgiveness, there's two spaces for gratitude. In order to actually be able to authentically offer gratitude, you have to open and acknowledge what you've received. So we could say receiving and offering gratitude. You know, sometimes people do these extraordinary things for us and we are so socialized and polite, particularly the people in this room, you know, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. But to actually take a moment to really feel, it makes us vulnerable. It can be dangerous for a lot of us to open to feel what that person has just given us, to prompt us to actually say thank you. You know, most of the time we say, like, we're teaching our son to say please and thank you, and just like, he doesn't know what he's saying yet, but I watch him, he goes, thank you, you know, but he's not going like, wow, you know, you just stayed up all night for me while I had a fever. Thank you, you know, and, you know, maybe in 40 years he will, but as I'm now doing, you know, going back and thinking about my mother. So tune into that, the ability to receive and to offer. And to know that in each of these four areas are all the other areas. Again, so you might enter an area and choose to be working with goodness. And as you're working with goodness, you're naturally in a space of forgiveness because you can't feel goodness if there isn't forgiveness in you. And if you're really opening to the goodness of something, you're opening to something that you don't understand how to be with, because it's beyond conceptual understanding when we're in alignment with our true open heart. And we're grateful for that, right? That's one example. So in any one of these, you can touch on all of them. So what we'll do is we'll take 45 minutes and you can move, please feel free to move cushions. If everyone decides to go in the white circle at once, it's not a big deal. You can push the pedals to the side or sit on the pedals or sit around the outside and just say, I'm in the white circle, right? In between, you might, if you don't know exactly where you're led to go next, but you feel that you're done with one area, you might get up and come back to the center and sit and return to the meadow and gaze at the vision of your year and see what calls you to move to next, and trust that you're being called to go exactly where you want. There's no particular rhythm. There's no particular way to do it. So you could return to forgiveness 17 times in the 45 minutes. You know, you might go to one area, leave it and go right back, and leave it and go right back, and leave it and go right back, or etc. Yeah.
So whichever place we go, we decide whether it's goodness.
You decide.
So it's just a matter of going to a different spot.
Yeah, and they and
like forgiveness, is it?
no, and they could change for you. So if you were me, because I like order, I would look around and go, oh, yellow feels like forgiveness to me. That's going to be my forgiveness area, or white, whatever it is, right? But someone else might go like, well, yellow was forgiveness 10 minutes ago, but now it's gratitude for me. You know, it's because things are available, right, and open. So you see. Another nice thing as part of this meditation that you might choose to do if you feel called to is as you're working and you go back to your year or to the, if you go back to your year, to see if by working with that one area, forgiving or really tuning into the goodness of how you acted in a certain moment, if different areas of the year pop up and feel differently to you. So to bring consciousness to how, when we work on any one moment, it affects everything else around it, and to really wake up to that space, okay? Any questions? Yeah, so let's say I go into one space and I choose to work with something that I have a really, I don't know how to be with. I know some questions in my own life that just keep coming up, and it's like, I can't quite figure it out, how to work with that kind of situation. And so I go in and I make space to be in relationship with this thing without trying to fix it, without trying to solve it, but I'm choosing to just come and sit and be with that thing that I don't know how to be with for however long I feel like I want to be, or I can be or need to be. And then when I leave that space, I might sit down in the center again and bring myself back to the year and just tune in and go, has that changed how I feel about other situations? Or I could just think about the person who's involved in that particular situation and look at my other moments of interaction with that person through the year and see if it changes how I feel about those interactions. Lots of various ways to do it. Does that make sense? And that might choose where I decide to go next. And I might find that someone that I originally felt like I needed to forgive is someone that I'm on my knees and thanking in gratitude by the end. Or I might find that someone I thought I was in gratitude for, there's something I actually need to ask forgiveness for, or I need to forgive them for, right? I have a question, and please let me know. Does anyone feel like they'd like a short kind of led example or meditation of any or all of these before we start as a group? Yeah? Okay. All right, so we'll do that really quickly just to kind of pop into that. And then when we come out of this, we'll take 45 minutes and we'll go. So before we start, just again, is everybody clear on the process? Okay, great. So get yourself comfy again. This will only take a few minutes. And close your eyes. You don't need to take a long time to build it up. Just flash on that inner vision now. We return to it. The meadow, feeling centered in your best self, very clear, very open-hearted, full of love, full of wisdom. Detached, but lovingly in relationship to the year that you're viewing, playing on the light of the valley in front of you. And call up one moment within this year, one event, interaction, where you felt that you acted in a way that was very much in alignment with how you would wish to be with yourself and with others. So a moment of goodness. And let the vision or the memory of that come forth and be living for you. And as you rest in that moment, allow the goodness to warm and open your heart. Feel it as part of you. Feel empowered by this space that you were able to act that way. You have the consciousness to act in alignment with the self that you want to move towards. And also open the majesty of the fact that any moment of goodness, however humble or simple it might appear, holds tremendous power to change the world in positive ways. And so feel this goodness extending out to all other areas of your year and all other beings and all other areas of your own self, past and future, infusing the landscape with positivity and warmth. And you could just rest in the vibration, the energetic vibration of this goodness, letting it nourish your being when you're moving in your own process. And that would be a tremendous service to others around you. So moving now and asking the year to offer you a moment where you wish to bring forgiveness either to yourself or to another person. And this need not necessarily be a moment in the year. It could be a whole pattern or way of being that you're trying to work with. So see how it comes to you. And important here as we work with forgiveness to really go into the feeling of the situation. And to imagine that it is possible to move past this separation, this feeling of separation from self or other, and to try to cultivate within yourself what it would be to rest in a space of forgiveness. If you were able to completely forgive yourself for all of your shortcomings, what kind of feeling would you have inside? And if you were able to see clearly that the harm that others do to you are due to their own pain and their own suffering and their own confusion, which you share in spades with them, how you might be able to offer an open, loving heart to them in those moments when they are confused, and you would be able to offer them compassion. And what that would feel like to move through the world where you are coming closer to other people rather than feeling separated from them. Knowing, particularly with forgiveness, that it's a continual process, and imagining what it would be to be there is a very powerful tool if you don't feel like you can, if you don't really feel like you're able to heal that space yet between yourself or another. That's fine. And then asking your year to offer you something that you're not sure how to be with. A question, a situation, a frustration, or it might be a miracle or a space of tremendous love that just so puts you in awe you don't even know how to relate to it. There's light and shadow in terms of the things that we don't know how to be with. And feel yourself rest and simply open a space to be in relationship with this situation, being, entity, feeling, pattern, occurrence. To listen. To receive. Not needing to solve it, not needing to figure it out, to get through it, but making space to be with. You might internally ask, is there anything that you need to know or anything that this person, situation, event wishes to share with you? Or you might directly ask it to help you come closer to it. to help you feel more connected and clear so that you can be in right relationship with it. And then lastly, letting that rest for a moment, knowing you can always come back to any of these, and that the work, even while you're not conscious, continues to be done by bringing little bits of consciousness each time, because everything is evolving in its own life and time, whether you're aware of it or not. Bring yourself and ask your year to offer you a space where you received goodness, support, in the many, many ways that it comes. And recall that moment. And open your heart to gratitude. Remind yourself that just like you, everyone has free will and has choice. And there are so many things that people could be choosing to do with their day. And so for one moment to have someone choose to offer you something, to take care of you, to listen to you, to comfort you, to insult you so that you could see where your impatience is, that these are tremendous gifts, given the fact that none of us know how long we're going to live. So a second of someone's time is such an offering of love. And so in this space, cultivating a loving vision of this event, person, situation, feeling, etc., whatever it might be you're working with. And again, feeling that it's possible for that gratitude to spread out and to infuse all other areas of your year and therefore your life, your past, your future. Evolving your being to the highest. And then gently let that rest and come back. Okay. So please deal with these 4 areas in any way that feels useful to you. What we just did is by no means encompasses all the ways you could work with these 4 energies. And we'll come back together at 2:50. Are there people online live? Hi, everyone. So if you're online live, I encourage you to find 4 areas in your space or 4 areas in your home to do this meditation with. And really make those, if you want, take 5 minutes of the 45 minutes to really mark off those spaces for yourself. It's helpful to feel that there are boundaries to enter and leave, because not everything is the same. So we make differentiation in our experience. And that could simply be a chair, the floor, standing by a window, etc. You choose whatever is meaningful for you. Dedication of this time. You can do this with your eyes open or closed, sitting, laying down, wherever you are. You're standing in the beautiful meadow, feeling energized, clear. gazing out at the play of the past year, the valley in front of you, play of light and shadow. Is much changed from the work that you just did, from the consciousness and thought forms and feelings and movement that you brought over the past 45 minutes. Make a prayer that anything that is no longer useful for you, that is no longer in alignment with your highest path, any agreements, any patterns, any thought forms, any habits, all be dispersed in this moment. And if you wish, you could see this valley in front of you like wisps of gray smoke floating up into the air and disappearing into the ether, purifying this landscape in front of you. Make this firm in your being, that you release all agreements, all patterns, all habits, all relationships that are not aligned with your divine and highest path. That you release all of those things to go into the light and into their own highest good now. And then make a prayer that all beings and things that you encountered in this past year, and all beings and things that are connected to any beings and things that you encountered in this past year, and therefore everything in the entire universe, be blessed and feel helped and supported and guided along their way. And so that now the valley in front of you is filled with only brilliant white light. All specificity of particular situations, people, etc., have dissolved into this one highest goodness of brightness, bright light, love, wisdom in front of you. So brilliant. And as you gaze upon this, you know that this is now your relationship to your past, your future, and your present, which are all one. Is this directness of open light and joy. And now invite this light back into your heart just as you projected it out in the beginning of the meditation, and feel it draw back into your being, energizing you, strengthening you, blessing you. And feel yourself filling with this brilliant light. Turn around, turn around, turn around. We may come full circle and be new here again. So let's take a 20-minute space, please. I invite you to use this time in whatever way is meaningful for you. If you I imagine that people will choose to share a voice during this time, and so if you wish to have a more quiet atmosphere, you might take a walk outside or something like that. And we'll come back and look towards cultivating the new year in 20 minutes until 4 o'clock, when we will rest and disperse. Yes, ma'am. We're going to do it when we come back, yeah. Although we just passed through it. All we know is right now. All there is right now. Right now. I'm here with you. You're here with me. Together, alive, so solid, so free. So again, allow yourself to tune in to being here. Feel all that loving energy that was stirred up over the past 25 minutes. Connections and conversations. Feel nourished by that energy. And allow it to integrate and settle you. So that you can bring yourself to a sense of fullness and presence here in this moment. And then if you're not in a comfortable position to meditate, please organize yourself so that you are. Of course, you can always move. And we will do a meditation to welcome the solar light into our being. So in your inner vision, choose to bring yourself again to this beautiful meadow, the open valley in front of you, now clear from the past. Anything that was no longer serving you has been released by conscious choice to move along into its own highest path and light. And all that is useful and in alignment with your highest goodness has been reintegrated into your being. Imagine now that above you in this meadow, a great shaft of sunlight begins to pour down and cover your body. And as it does, the vision within you opens of the soul of the sun, the consciousness of this great being that provides our life on the earth and of which we are indebted to. You might have an image of this as the most brilliant, exquisite being you've ever encountered. You might simply feel an overwhelming sense of love and compassion, or you may feel and see nothing, which is fine. Simply thinking about the solar light, the solar sun, is blessing your being. Allow this light to enter into your body, the light of the soul of the sun, and feel that it is changing you at the most elemental level, healing any stuck places within your physical body, changing the very structure of your DNA to that of a higher, more pure vibration, one that is more in alignment with the truth of our being, which is pure energy and light, so that you might know yourself as that fluid and brilliant entity. Infusing your physical being with love and wisdom. Again, it is not necessary that you feel or see anything in particular. Simply bringing your thoughts to this allows it to occur within you. Of course, if you do see something or feel it, you may choose to go towards that and enter into that sensation or that vision to allow it to support the process. This solar light will continue to work with your body, your physical body, refining it and bringing it to the next level of evolution, while you shift your focus and allow the solar light to enter your emotional field. And as it enters your emotional fields, it calms any turbulence that is there. It dissolves any stuck patterns, emotional patterns, allowing them to flow and be reintegrated into a loving presence. Your emotional body lives within and around. In terms of your energetic presence, it lives within and around your physical body. So you might imagine light around your physical body, growing brighter, multicolored. all due to the blessing of this tremendous, compassionate being in the sky that we call the sun, as you are blending here with the soul of the sun, the solar light. Allowing its awareness to evolve you. When we invite the sun to work with us in this way, it does. And it is continuing to work with our physical body as well as our emotional body. And we can choose to invite it to begin to work with our thought body, our causal body, all our patterns of thinking, to illuminate and grow those that are positive and in alignment with our highest evolution, and to surround those stuck thought patterns or old ways of thinking that are no longer serving us, that are blocking our development, inviting it to surround those thought patterns with light until they dissolve and are released. The entire vibration of your being is literally increasing as you're doing this meditation. And because we are connected, therefore the vibration of this room is increasing and out and out and out. As we bring more light into our being, we are able to share more light with those around us. And we come closer to our true nature, which is light, love, wisdom. And feel that this solar blessing forms a shell, a fluid shell of light around you. One that is brilliant and filled with love and compassion. And the quality of this energy, this light that you are receiving from the soul of the sun, the consciousness of the great being in the sky, who is now blending with your consciousness, sharing its consciousness with yours, creates this intelligence of this light around you so that you now have the ability to let in things that are most useful for your development, and to easily and without any sense of aversion or aggression, to simply reflect outwardly the things that are not useful for you. They cannot move through this shell of light. Good attracts good. So now on the level of body, of emotion, and of thought, these three centers, we are full of brilliant intelligence and love, highly energized to do our work, our greatest work in service, able to move more easily in alignment with our higher self, with our own soul, as we connect with the soul of the sun. Imagine that this is possible. Again, you do not need to feel anything in particular, see anything in particular, simply by bringing your thought to this process, it's occurring. And you will witness its blessings as you move through your life. Part of the blessing that you are receiving is to be able to see more clearly the way this compassionate intelligence begins to work through you. Send a thought of thanks to the sun for coming and being with you today, for blessing you. Know that you can return at any time. You don't need to sit in formal meditation. Simply bring your thought to the soul of the sun and invite it to bless you with its light. And on the level of body and emotion and thought, you will be brightened. And brought directly into alignment with your own soul, your own highest state of consciousness. Taking a deep breath, take your time as you return to open-eyed awareness. There are so many beings that are helping us all the time. And the highest beings, whether they are incarnate or discarnate, they are in alignment with right relationship, and part of right relationship is respect for the boundaries of another. And so it is important, if you wish to receive blessings, to ask for them. The highest beings will not offer you anything that you don't ask for. Simply practically because you're not open to receive them. So it's a misuse of their energy to offer them when you're not ready to receive them. And the highest beings are using their energy in the most efficient manner for the service of all. And we can learn a lot from that. That we can use our energy as efficiently as possible, and to know when it is that it's time for us to speak or to be silent, to know what gifts we're able to offer and which gifts need to wait, and to respect each person in their path, knowing that they're making their choices and their choices are right for them. So you have many, many beings helping you, and it's important to ask for help when you want it. And as soon as you ask, it's there. As soon as you ask, it's there. And sometimes you need to ask to have the blessing to see how it's there. And then you'll receive that blessing, right? We're at a time in our awakening as a planet where we are beginning to be available to working with more and more of the greater beings. The planet itself, the sun, the solar, the galactic beings, in addition to the other masters that are no longer on the physical plane, but that are still working with us. And we're beginning to understand scientifically how energy is functioning. And this has been known for millennia in the spiritual traditions. But our modern science is catching up. So this is one meditation that if it's of use to you, or you feel it's of use, to take it and to play with it and to know that you can receive those blessings anytime. We are evolving towards the sun, towards that level of brightness and energy and continual compassion. If we choose to evolve that way, of course. So if you're not sure if you have a guide or a teacher, you can just look up into the sky and go, well, there it is, you know, and ask that being to bless you. One other thing I wish to offer, and then we'll do one last meditation to go into the new year. Everything is choice. We may not be consciously choosing, but we have chosen everything. And it's a great empowerment to come into alignment with this truth. Most of us, have a lot of outer conditioning that has come onto us. And as we make these kinds of transitions from old to new, again, we can draw this line anytime. It's a warrior action to draw this kind of line. That's one of the energies of a warrior. It's a positive, I hesitate to use the word violence, but it's a positive force to say, now I'm here. It reorients everyone else around you when you make a clear choice. And we're often afraid to make a choice, and particularly when we're trying to be a good person, we're sort of like, it's all okay, everything's okay, just everything, accept everything. But actually, the higher evolution of acceptance is love, unconditional love, that allows you to make a clear line that says, this is where I am and this is where you are, without any kind of personality caught up in it. And so each of us know deeply so much about our paths. There are certainly things we don't know and things we can't possibly imagine that are coming. But there are so many things that we know that often are not in alignment with the outer conditioning that has come to us. And it can really be a struggle to sort through all that conditioning and go, you know, what is really important to me? What really matters? And even more so, what am I capable of doing? We actually have been taught to limit ourselves by society. We have not been taught by society to be liberated. We've been taught to limit. So part of our process as spiritual beings is to figure out how to teach ourselves to be unlimited within our limits, sensing what our limits are at any given moment and respecting them. Right? One of the blessings of being in a physical body, and being in a physical body is such a precious gift. It's not random, it's not a mistake, it's not some punishment that has been put upon us to be in a physical body. Within the physical body, we learn about what it is to be an individual. We cannot learn this in any other way. We cannot learn how to be an individual when we are on other planes of consciousness, because then we are in merged consciousness. We cannot understand non-duality unless we have understood duality, because they are two sides of the same coin. So we cannot hope to come into a unitive state of consciousness where we truly are living in an embodied sense, being joined with all beings and things, unless we have allowed ourselves to feel what it is to be an individual. We never stop being an individual. And we're scared of being an individual. So part of learning to be in union is to understand what it is to be separate. And this is what the physical body allows us to do, to learn this lesson. And we can learn it in a very hard way, or we can learn it in a very joyous way, but we learn it. So again, going back to what I said in the beginning, your material, there's the vibratory nature of the human body is such that you can process material very directly and concretely within yourself. And you know this, anybody knows this who's had a very clear realization about their life when it goes in your body. You know it. It's not something that you have to like explain in theory. You are it. Do you know what I'm talking about? And this can go from, you know, realizations of the mind all the way through to, you know, physical types of initiations, like going through puberty or giving birth or things like that. They are crystallized within the human form. And then they go through to all our other bodies, our emotional body, our thought body, and on and on. So it's a blessing to be in this body. No matter what kind of body you have, it's a blessing to be in your body. You've chosen your body. It's a great gift. So work with your material. You don't need anybody else's material. You've chosen your material and you have this amazing opportunity to learn about yourself in this life. And by learning about yourself, you learn about everybody else. And the closer you come to integrating with your true self, your true individual nature, the closer you, of course, come to unitive consciousness. So I mention this because there's those of us that are choosing to focus on our spiritual development within this lifetime, be it in any tradition that we go into, there is often a tendency to vilify the human form, even when it's like, oh, the human form is great. There's some kind of weird, I don't know, draft that comes in about like, get out of the body, or something like that, you know? And that's mistaken. And then there's also a tendency to skip over your personal material and to try to kind of put on an applique of, I don't know, some kind of elevated consciousness. And that stuff will keep coming around until you deal with it. So might as well, you know, take the gift that you have to really be with yourself and see what's there. Work with your material, right? So to trust yourself to do that, and to trust yourself to know what you know, and to trust that you're guided and that there are people all around you and beings all around you of all natures who are helping you all the time. And all you need to do is to ask to see them, and you will recognize them helping you. And that's a great gift. And you also are one of those beings who are helping you and helping others all the time by the work that you're doing. Okay, so we'll do one last meditation here. And you're gonna need one piece of loose, like relatively small paper at the end of this meditation. Geneva, can I give you this when you'll know when we get to the part to collect everyone's paper? Thanks. Okay, everybody ready? All right. So take yourself back into your seat. Flash back into the vision of the meadow. You're there, fully blessed by the solar light, still working with your being, your body, your emotions, your thoughts, purifying them, raising your consciousness on all levels. This is happening without you needing to focus on it at this moment because you brought it so consciously into play a little while ago. And look now into the meadow, and in the meadow you see a spring, a pool of water, a geyser, something of that nature. You see how it comes to you, but a body of water appears. And your awareness is that this water is springing forth from the deepest source that there could be. And that it is full of the highest level of intelligence, the highest level of love, and the highest level of free will, of power. And go forth towards this body of water and make contact with it in some way. You might bathe with it or drink it. Allow it to come into your being in some manner. And feel as you do this, again, that you are being deeply nourished by this element. And know that it is connecting with the source that is deepest within you, that they are one and the same. That this vision of this water outside of you is connecting you to the deepest source within yourself. And as you partake of it and make contact with it, you are empowered to be in deeper and more direct contact with this source within yourself, to empower you as you move through the coming year. And part of the blessing of being in contact with the source within yourself is that you feel your presence arriving to the presence that you wish to live in. There's no need to make any resolutions for the future. The future is open. But you can cultivate here a quality of being, knowing that we do not know what will come towards us and in what manner it will come. We can make a choice to meet it in a certain way. So let this water bless your being. Feel the tone of your presence change or deepen if you feel it is already where you wish it to be. Again, you don't need to feel anything special or think anything special, although you might have feelings and images that come, and all of those are welcome. Simply the intention to do this is making it happen. That you are empowered to embody the quality of being that you wish to embody. Knowing that all actions of body, speech, and mind will follow from that core presence. Imagine this is actually happening now in your body right now as you sit here. You are taking on the way you wish to live in the world. And it affects everything. You are empowered to be this person. You are empowered to live in this being, in this quality of presence. Whatever words or images or feelings you wish to bring to it. And know that you can return to this space at any time, to this spring at any time. And drink from it, bathe with it, or simply call up the feeling within yourself and let yourself be filled with the presence of that deepest source. Perfect love, perfect wisdom, and complete free will and power to enact upon that free will, not bound by anything, free to choose. Gaze once more at the water and see from this source a gift emerge for you to assist you in the coming year. Trust the way it emerges and whatever it is. It may be a gift that will be with you the whole year. It may be a gift that you will use in one particular moment that you can't foresee yet, but that the greater wisdom can foresee and is giving to you now so that you have it, along with the blessing to remember that you have it when you need it. Feel grateful, receive that gift in whatever form it's come to you. Feel supported and protected by it. And now, notice that by embodying this presence, you have within your own being a gift to give. And it will also emerge in the way it wishes. Maybe it's in your pocket, maybe it springs out of your head, maybe it emerges from all the pores of your being, I don't know. But you have a gift that is specifically for someone else in this room to aid them in their coming path. This is something that is beyond our rational mind, so trust the way it comes and in the form it comes to you. And know that the person who receives this gift will understand it. Perhaps not consciously or rationally, but they will understand it and be able to receive it, and it will assist them in their path. So when you're ready, what I'm going to ask you to do is to write down that gift, and that might mean you write down an image, or you might write down words. You'll see what is the best way to translate it, this gift that you have to give to someone else in this room. And you'll write that down on your paper and then fold your paper, and eventually we'll collect all the papers, and then we'll repass them out and receive the gifts that have been given within this community to offer out today. So you can trust that whoever receives your gift is exactly the person who it's meant to go to. So whenever you're ready, you can write that down, and in time, Geneva will collect them. Yeah, we don't need to rush. Just let Geneva know when you have it to give it to her so she can collect it. And those of you that are watching online, you can write the gift down that you have for someone else and slip it in someone's pocket or put it in someone's purse, when you're in Starbucks, or you'll know who to give it to, and try to give it to them secretly. Yeah, leave the money in the purse. That's not their gift to you unless they tell you. Is that everyone? Anybody still working? Yeah? Got everyone's? So, do you mind repassing them around? Okay. So we'll repass them around and choose your gift. You can choose to look at it now, later, whenever. It's yours, so you do with it as you wish. Bury it in your front yard and dig it up in next January, whatever.
You get your own, you put it back in the box.
I don't know. See what you think. Maybe you were giving yourself a good gift. I don't know who you are. You're already a different person, so. I like, I have one. Oh, yeah. Everybody got one, right? Okay. All right. So we can do this with open-eyed awareness. So one last time, just take a look around and see each other with support, an open heart. Remember, this is always available to you. You don't have to communicate anything in particular. And as we're sitting here and we're doing this just openly, without having to go into some meditative state, just sending a thought that all the work today streams forth and offers goodness to everyone around you. And knowing that it will do that. And feeling that you can leave today content with what you've done here, knowing that this work will continue, your evolution will continue, your material is yours. You can choose to work with it in any way that you wish, at any time. Turn around, turn around, turn around. We may come full circle. and be new here again. I want to thank Heather for organizing today. Thank you. I want to thank Dima for setting up the computer and Lori, thank you. Helped with that. Really, thank you, everyone. We're all doing something, right? There are, as I'm sure many of you know, but there are upcoming classes. Lauren's teaching a class on Monday nights. Is it already starting next Monday? This coming Monday, called Tolerance and Joy. Really good title. And Lama Marut, the spiritual director of the center, is coming on February 20th to teach in person, which doesn't happen often, so that's a big winner. Along with Cindy Lee, she's coming to teach, which is wonderful, and all the other things at the center, which are listed, I'm sure, out there. Yes, Churning the Ocean, Myth and Music for the Wild at Heart. It's good. And there's a donation bowl out there if you wish to offer a donation. The center always needs our support. I have additional gifts for everyone. These are bumper stickers, although they don't have to go on your car. They can go anywhere. One says, "Every thought matters, love." And the other says, "Speak lovingly, every word matters." So you're welcome to take one or more and pass them around to your friends. If you take a big chunk of them, you might want to consider, I don't know, leaving some money. They cost about $2.50 a piece. I'm trying to spread them around the world, but you're welcome to take as many as you wish. Well, it depends on how many I order. They're not cheap. This is how it goes at our house. I go, "David, I have this idea. I want to make these stickers." And he's like, "I totally support you. Go do it." And then it's like, they cost that much money? No, they don't? Okay. I don't know what they cost. Anyway, take them, don't take them. They're for you. Donate to the center first. What else? I think that's it. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful New Year. Yeah.